Morning, everybody. I hope you're having a good morning. It's the 13th of December? 14th. The 14th of December. And it's Sunday. And I figured maybe on Sundays I should do a thing called Subscriber Sundays. So we're going to do that today. Subscriber Sundays. I'm going to answer questions from subscribers on Sundays. So if you have any questions... So if you ever have any questions, just put them in the comments below. And on Sunday I will answer your question. No matter what it is. Anything. Any questions you might have, I will answer. Alright, so I'm going to get started here. First question by Keith. How do you renew your driver's license when you have no physical address or family? That's a very good question, Keith. You can do it in a couple different ways. I still use my address at the old house I used to live at. My friends were fine with that, so they just continue to let me use that, and hopefully I can use it for quite a while. If you live near your parents or family members or relatives that might let you use it, that's another possibility. If you can get a P.O. box. I know sometimes when you're getting a job or sometimes when you're giving resumes to people and stuff like that, you have to have a physical address, and it can't be a P.O. box. But I think most of the time P.O. boxes are fine. And I think you can get a P.O. box that actually doesn't say P.O. box, and it's just like a regular address. Another option you have is you can get your packages delivered to your workplace if your managers are fine with that. And then I guess the last option would be just not to get mail. You can get a lot of your documents emailed, or just you can view them electronically. So, very good question, Keith. Next question is from Michael Cornelio, 2 words, who asks, what kind of places do you van camp at? Usually van camp at wherever I can find a place. There's usually a few things that I look for whenever I'm looking for a place to camp. And that is that there's other people there. There's other cars parked there. I don't want to look like just the one little car parked by itself, because that just looks suspicious to police officers and people coming by and stuff like that. Now, with the van that I have, it's probably not as suspicious because it's just like a regular work van, but still it does look kind of suspicious. And if you're in like a conversion van or a camper or something like that, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. So main thing I look for is just other vans, other campers, other people possibly, and if not other people, just other cars, just other vehicles in general. It's kind of neat when you park next to other campers because it's, they're like your neighbors, so you can talk to them if they're social. You can talk to them. You can ask them about their camping stuff and how long they've been Vandwelling and all that sort of stuff. So I'd say definitely try to find a place where there's other vans or other cars parked. Where I'm at, it's very simple because there's a lot of people doing this. Good question, Michael Cornelio. Next question is by Lucas Land, 1 word. Lucas Land asks, any issues with the cops? So far, no issues with the cops, surprisingly. Before I embarked on this journey, I really thought that I was going to have at least a run-in with the cops kind of early. And I figured it might be like a typical thing to have the occasional run-in with the cops where I have to say, oh, there was trouble at home and I'm just sleeping in the van for one night, or like make up a story about me being on some sort of vacation and a road trip, and I got tired of driving, so I had to pull over, you know, something like that. But surprisingly enough, I haven't had one run-in with the cops yet, and I'm very thankful for that. I think it's just, you know, it's not causing any trouble. There's other things to worry about, and like I said, there's a lot of people that are vandwelling here in the city. The first couple nights I was doing it, I was very sort of paranoid about that. I thought that for sure I would be discovered, but sure enough, I was not discovered. So I'm glad, and hopefully it stays that way, and I don't have any sort of run-ins with the cops or anything. I remember the second night I was vandwelling. I was sleeping, and about maybe 2 or 3 a.m. I hear an intercom outside the van, and I was like, "Oh crap!" You know, clearly there's somebody back there with an intercom. And I look out the back window, and it's one of these meter maids, which are basically, they run around and they give people tickets that have expired meters. They run around in these little tiny little people cars, and give people tickets and stuff like that. She was gibbering something on the walkie-talkie, and I couldn't really tell what it was. But I got really scared for a second. I was like, what if she's talking about me? And so, anyway, she left, and it was 3 o'clock, and I was like, I don't want to do anything, but still, I should probably do something. So I got up, and I started my car, and I drove out of there. I really wanted to know what actually was going down, so I went around, and I came back, and sure enough, there was a police car, like, parked there. So I guess she had phoned in a police car who had come in. Maybe they were looking for somebody and they found the car they were looking for, or maybe maybe I was parked somewhere and there was a sign I didn't see, or something like that. But for whatever reason, she phoned in some police and they showed up. So next question is from D. Hyde, who says, you forgot insurance, licensing, registration, and inspections on your van. Gotta pay the man. Basically, this was a comment in regard to my video, the 3 good reasons to live in a van. So if you haven't seen it, there it is. But it was a comment regarding that video, where I basically went through all the sort of money things you're going to worry about. And he was saying that I forgot insurance, licensing, registration, and inspections on your van. And he's right. Except I was just kind of going over typical things you're going to pay for, you know, like monthly payments, not stuff you just pay once a year, because I mean you don't even really think about that, or at least I don't, you know, until it comes time to take care of that stuff. I usually don't even think about it. I mean, even when I live in a house, it's not something I consider a bill, you know. Now, insurance, on the other hand, is, and for a lot of people, they do pay it month to month, but you have an option to pay it, you know, for 6 months out. And it's usually a little bit cheaper that way. So I do that because, I mean, it's only like for me, it's either I can pay $50 or $60 a month for insurance, or I can pay like $230 and then just not worry about it for 6 months. D. Hyde, basically, you know, great question, but those things I don't really worry about as much. They're more of a yearly basis thing. Next question is from also from Lucasland, one word, who says, money is not the problem, debt is. That's how people who own this country control everyone, keep you in debt. I don't necessarily disagree with you, Lucasland, but debt involves some form of money or payment, or it involves some sort of transaction to be made. So I think that, you know, while I agree that debt is a problem, I think that the root of the problem of debt lies on money or some sort of you know, transaction or funding. You know, maybe it's not money, maybe it's, you know, I mean, what if we got rid of money, and what if we started using like seashells or I mean gold or something? It had to be like a specific kind of seashell or something. Well, I mean, it's still going to be there. You know, it's the same idea as money. It is money basically. So, just, you know, just the whole idea of using money to do things like that. And I don't mean money as the paper. I just mean money, you know, in the form of whatever form it is, you know. We shouldn't have to have money to be able to survive. We shouldn't have to have money to be able to, I don't know. But no, I agree with you. Debt is a problem as well, and I certainly have some debt, some student loans, and some stuff like that. So no, I 100% agree with you that debt is also a problem. But I mean, we wouldn't have debt if there wasn't some sort of a trade involved, or money, or some sort of financial situation. Next question is from Manuel S., who says, if you need some help, let me know. 408-439-3059. Last question is from Astro Camper, who wants to know any updates on the van life. Good question, Astro Camper. So I've been living in the van for about 2.5 months. So far, no troubles. It is starting to get a little bit chilly in San Francisco, so I've been thinking more and more about buying a little portable heater, and I'm not sure exactly which one to get. So I was asking maybe you guys if you knew a good heater to get. I've seen those little propane heater things. Those look pretty good. But if you have any other recommendations, please let me know, because it is starting to get a little bit cold. My next plan for the van stuff is to insulate, so I'll probably have another video up regarding that stuff, just similar to the bed one. It's going to be fairly simple. I'm not exactly sure what kind of insulation I want to get, so if you have any recommendations on this particular type of van, what would be good, yeah, please let me know. I think when I bought this van, it had like a sort of a foil bubble sort of insulation, and that seemed like it worked pretty well. I didn't keep it because this van used to be used for like carpet shampooing and stuff, and so it probably had a lot of mold and sort of water nastiness on it. So I tore it out, but I think that might be a good way to go, is the foil bubble sort of stuff. And I would just do it, you know, between each partition here and then on the roof, and then probably put up some wood, you know, after the insulation. But other than that, everything has been fine in the van. It's been pretty normal. Still doing the same thing I was doing when I first started Vandwelling. You know, eating simple things, spending a lot of time outside the van, coming here to sleep, basically. You know, it's perfectly doable. I think some personal changes that have happened since I moved in the van that I've been able to notice, I think, is that I've been a little bit more outgoing with people. I've been more prone to sort of talk to them, and you know, just like in general, just like I've just been a little bit more talkative and a little bit more full of energy. And I think that's because I have like a good source of privacy now, and I can actually like come home and be well rested, and then be, you know, fresh and ready for the next day. So and then also just I feel like I've been a little bit more productive. I've been doing a lot of stuff these last couple months with video projects. So yeah, productivity has been on the rise, which is great, because it sucks to feel so tired that you don't want to do anything. And that's kind of where I was before I moved. So guys, I think that's about it for Sunday Subscriber Questions Day. I guess I want to end this on a thing that I love, which is movies stuff. And I was going to ask, what are your 3 favorite movies of the year? Your 3 favorite movies of the year so far. If you can't remember what you saw, you can go to Google and type in 2014 movie releases, and a Wikipedia page will pop up with all the movies that were released in 2014. So please let me know what your 3 favorite movies are, and if you're interested in writing even more, tell me why you liked them and what they did for you, and if you have any sort of interesting interpretations on the movies, yeah, throw that in there too. I'm eager to know. My 3 favorites were Force Majeure, Nightcrawler, and Birdman. And I'll put trailers below And if you guys want to know why I like those films, let me know and I'll let you know. And I think most van dwellers will agree that having a source of entertainment is very, very important. And my source is movies. I just watch movies all the time. Beware of Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede, and stay cool and do something fun, and take it easy. I will see you guys next time.